Hey everybody, Robert with RC Archery. You're watching Tuesday's Tip of the Week number 110. In this week's video, I'm going to give you previously something I haven't ever talked about here on the YouTube channel. This is a couple tips that I hold pretty close to the chest as far as helping the people that I coach, normally only telling them. So these are going to be really good tips. I'm going to give you, to be upfront and honest, half the equation here. So I'm going to explain to you how to do this, what you're looking for, how it looks, and get you set up. But I'm not going to go over the intricacies of how to get there to hold your absolute steadiest, because it would just take way too long here in a YouTube video. So if you are interested in that, email me, contact me, let me know. If it's something you want to work with through coaching, we can do that, but it's a little bit longer and it's actually very user specific. So depending on your shot style, your form, the type of bow you're shooting, whether it's a hunting setup or a target setup, and what we're doing, it does vary. So keep that in mind, but you'll get some good tips here to get you started in the right direction if you want to self-assess and go from there, or if you need my help, my email is below. All right, so what we're going to talk about today is creating tension by expanding and creating some extra force between our hands. And of course, we're going to be using the correct muscles to do this, and we're going to be using a couple different techniques to take care of this. But what this will do for you is it will help you steady the motion that you're seeing in your sight picture. It's not going to make everything stop, and it's not going to magically fix if you have a form problem, draw length, loop length issue, other things on the bow, stuff like that. But in general, no matter what you have set up or how you're going about it, this is going to create a smaller, steadier sight picture compared to what you're seeing just by doing these. So there's two different ways that we can do it. First one we're going to talk about here is going to be revolving around how we are using our body and what we are doing at full draw. Now, if you're a hunter and you have a really high let off, or if you have a bow that maybe you can't adjust your let off, this is a very good option for you to be able to help you. If you are a target archer or have a bow that you can adjust your let off, there will be another tip for you on the second part of this video. But right now, let's talk about when we are getting to full draw and what we're doing here. We are actually wanting to get ourselves with the pin or the dot in the center of the target, and then from there, start an expansion from the elbow out on our bow arm, and then also from our release hand back through our release arms, elbow, back, shoulder, neck, whatever you want to look at and feel for your cue. But we're creating distance in between our hands. And we're doing this in a very slow and steady motion to be able to just study our float and see what's happening downrange. Now, this is not foolproof. If your draw length or your loop length is incorrect, when you start doing this, it's going to cause problems for you with your sight picture. You may feel the bow gets heavy, your sight picture gets really loopy and out of control, or you may feel like that you have like Hulk strength over the bow and you can move it and do all kinds of weird stuff, and you're seeing darts everywhere with your sight picture. If you are encountering that and have a problem with that, then you need to do some draw length adjustments or some loop length adjustments. This is actually one of the tests that I use with the people that I coach. It helps me guide them through what they're feeling and seeing in order to make the right changes. So while we are creating this expansion and this tension, what we're looking to do here is find the starting point for our shot execution. And as you do this drill, you're actually going to get more comfortable with it, and you'll be able to start pretty much at anchor by getting this tension pre-built and getting yourselves locked in, if you want to look at it that way, on the middle. Because we're waiting till our pin and our dot gets to the middle of the target to start this expansion and really lock our body in place, it's going to help you when you start your shot execution and create whatever motion movement you're doing from there. All right, now the second way to do this is adjusting the let off on your bow to change your holding weight. It's going to change the way your cams feel, your back wall. It's going to, well, your back wall as far as how much the cams want to pull you forward or make you hold against them. It's going to change the amount of weight you're holding at full draw. So if you have a target bow or even a hunting setup, always running for utmost accuracy points. On a hunting setup, on a target setup, you want to adjust that holding weight until you are matching the holding weight on the bow with the overall weight of the bow and how much force you're putting into your shot. And those are like that little triangle area to achieve your greatest accuracy. All of that has to be met. And it's pretty simple. I mean, a lot of what we talked about in the first tip of building that tension up and expansion and what we're doing, generally you're doing the same thing, but you're doing it in a controlled manner. So let's say you're an archer that likes to get into anchor, maybe not be as aggressive, maybe have a little bit of softness and be able to just really settle your body in. Having a little less holding weight, having a little more let off percentage will help you do that, and then you can expand from there and create the steadiness. But if you're an archer that doesn't want to have to worry about that, doesn't need that because maybe you're not hunting and having to hold for a really long time at full draw, you can set up your holding weight and your let off percentage to be lower, maybe in that 70, 65, 75, somewhere in that range, depending on what you need and feel, to keep that tension and automatically place it there. So essentially the process is the same once we get to full draw, but it will be a little overall less movement needed. So for me, let's look at my scenario and what I like to do. I'm generally holding around 75%. It could be a little bit more, a little bit less, depending on the cam and the aggressiveness and everything that I get on most of my cam setups with bows. I like to have a little bit of softness when I get into the back wall and I'm getting into anchor. I don't want to have to worry about that cam pulling me forward or creating an issue. Helps me get my alignment. It helps me get a little bit softer in my hands to make my release and make my release work better, make my bow not move as much left to right with hand tension in the bow hand. But I do have to expand a little bit more doing this because instead of holding somewhere in the 13s, I really need to be holding somewhere closer to 15 in order to see my steadiest sight picture with the overall bow weight that I have right now. So if I were to adjust that and maybe say roll that down to 70, 72%, I would be closer to that 15 pounds of holding weight. So when I got on target and got my pin in the middle, that expansion and that tension building up in my hands would be much less. So it'd be less overall movement, less overall effort that I need to put in there. That can help a lot of people. I mean, you do have to be a little bit more precise and consistent in the first method versus this one to have consistent accuracy and hold across the board. So play with that and see what you like best as far as, do you want to adjust your cams for that let off, or do you want to just expand and create that tension? It creates different feels for both styles, but depending on what you need personally, one or the other usually will help you best. All right, so like we talked about in the first of this video, this is a very small portion in the total equation of what you need to do to hold your best on target while you're executing your shot, especially. If you would like more information on this, reach out to me, let me know. My coaching program actually revolves around a system of eliminating variables and working through drills to create a natural point of aim left and right and up and down for us, and then take your shot style and your body's need for what form you're getting and pair that to be able to help you hold steadiest. So I have an entire way of doing this that's not just try this and try that or do this. It's actually a step-by-step process that I've continually evolve over time to be able to try to help people and showcase what they need for you. So if you're still watching this point in the video, comment down below archery vision. I love being able to see that and seeing who all is still engaged. And make sure you're subscribed to the channel. I still have a bunch of people watching this that aren't. And thumbs up on the video, like this video, share it with the friends, people you think it's going to help, because that helps me as well with the algorithm on YouTube and get this out to more people. So thank y'all again for watching. I'll see you soon.